I'm going to make the case that I trust is fairly familiar to everyone in terms of the rate of growth in the demand that we're all seeing in terms of both voice to some extent, but certainly data in the wireless networks that we all serve. Now, I guess on a more practical note, when you look at some of the data that is available, you look at the adoption rates that do occur in technology cycles, and you get to be my age and you've actually lived through most of these cycles, and each of them you see this very similar trends, and it's roughly a 10-year cycle through the normal S-curve growth that you see in the various technologies. And for us, again, as an industry, when you look at this decade that we're in currently, this is going to be, in our view, the broadband wireless era, and the changes and the opportunities that are going to occur in this decade are really just going to be amazing. So we're certainly engaged and investing heavily to take advantage of the opportunities that we see in the upcoming decade. And what that translates to when you start to think about serving that environment or that market opportunity, just tremendous growth in terms of the number of units, as I said earlier, the number of application, and all this is pointing to, there's many different analyses that you read, but if you look at the rate of growth in demand of data requirements principally driving that, you see estimates that range over the course of this decade of 100 to 150 times increase in the amount of data requirements that are going to be demanded by the users in this market. And to serve that, of course, a lot of changes have to be delivered. So, this presents some interesting problems for all of us. If you look at the traditional voice requirements and the strain and stress that put on our networks, and then you start to scale that up so dramatically to address the needs of the data and services that are required, you see a technology and a capacity requirement with existing networks and systems that just cannot work financially. There's no way that the users will be able to support cost increase in the ARPUs that are going to support that kind of technology investments that would be invested with the traditional networks. So certainly you see opportunities to address this demand in the market through exercising new technologies, certainly the standards and LTE. Many people point to the future technologies delivering a 2 to 4 times increase in capability. We're also seeing more spectrum, more than 2 times the spectrum over this decade would start to become active in our markets. And then, of course, there's some ability to expand the existing macro cell environments, but again, that's really a fractional addition with all the restrictions that exist in terms of siting and so on. So the reality is that there has to be a totally different network approach on how to address this very, very accelerated growth in the demand that we're seeing.